Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Matt and John Make a Podcast. I'm Matt.
John here.
And this is episode 19. Can't believe it's been 19 already. We got a lot to talk about. Here's some of the topics we want to cover. The current NFL playoff picture. We'll go around and see how the season is shaking out right now. Some notable MLB signings, that happened in the last couple days. A little preview on UFC 246. A big fight has been announced. Some new teaser trailers for movies. Black Widow and the new James Bond movie have come out. We're going to give our opinions. Some wrestling news and notes to go over at the end, and always the best segment on the show, the funny news story.
The funny news story
of the week.
And before we forget to, Matt and I have been talking, and we are going to be doing a weekly reaction show, a weekly live stream reaction show. Hopefully
this coming week.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But that's our plan. Right after AEW Dynamite goes and NXT goes off the air. Matt, we haven't really talked about it, but I typically watch AEW Dynamite, and he will switch back and forth between Dynamite and
I usually have both on at the same time.
So with our last live stream, I really like that setup, and it will eliminate some content that we do on a weekly podcast instead of just going over show after show. I would rather us just do it right after the shows goes off the air.
Yeah, because I feel like our podcasts get too wrestling heavy.
Yep, I agree.
And variety is key. And live streams, that'd be for obviously a specific audience. So we're going to try that hopefully next Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Again, if all things, if your schedules work up, but I assume it will be. Mm-hmm. And we're going to try to work some stuff out tonight real quick. If not, I got to do some more research with Skype or Google Hangouts and OBS. Yeah. If anybody knows any tips and tricks for that, feel free to leave a comment. But anywho, that's housekeeping news right now. Let's get into first thing here on the agenda. Mm-hmm. The NFL. The playoff race is heating up, if I should say so myself.
Week 14 already. Hard to believe. But
it goes by fast. Yeah. Your current leaders, the AFC East is the Patriots at 10-2, the West Chiefs at 8-4, the AFC North, the Ravens at 10-2, the number one seed. AFC South, the Texans at 8-4. Moving on to the NFC, we have the Cowboys in the NFC East at 6-6. The
worst East division I have ever seen in a very long time.
That was like the Cowboys lost to, but yet their playoff hopes went up.
Amazing.
Ring phone. NFC West, we got the Seahawks at 10-2 and the 49ers at 10-2. Close matchup at the top. NFC North 9-3 are the Packers, and the NFC South is the Saints at 10-2. The current wild card teams on each, the AFC, Bills at number 5 and the Steelers number 6, and the NFC, the 49ers and the Vikings.
So immediate takeaways that as we are about 4 weeks away from the beginning of the NFL playoffs. To me, the AFC is incredibly top heavy, as we have been saying essentially all season. The NFC is just it's just from top to bottom. It's just such a deep conference. But some of the biggest surprises, I mean, definitely, I mean, it has to be the Steelers right now. I mean, like they have a duck at quarterback right now. We have a duck at quarterback who just beat the Cleveland Browns, the most overhyped preseason award winners in quite some time. So like that, I don't think that too many people pegged his team being 7-5
after an 0-3 start.
After 0-3 losing. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Losing Ben, just like injuries from like Connor and Juju, like their top wide receiver right now is James Washington.
Many people might go, who?
Exactly, like it's James Washington, Deontay Johnson, and someone I believe named Deontay Kane, who was a wide receiver who we got off of the Indianapolis Colts practice squad. So it just like this to me was definitely this has been Coach Tomlin's best coaching job. I mean like I subscribe to that to that narrative.
Yep.
He has just done a phenomenal job in just getting the best out of what he's currently is getting, and now her last 4 games are against
Arizona,
Buffalo, home versus Buffalo, and then on the road against the Jets and the Ravens, who could be sitting starters in that game because they could possibly have them home field for that.
Right,
time.
I didn't think of that.
So
you know what? Yeah,
it's going to be very interesting.
And yeah, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead, Matt.
Speaking of what you talked about surprises. I think the Ravens at 10-2 for most people was a little bit of a surprise. I think if you look back at our preseason predictions, I think you had the Steelers 1, Ravens 2, and I think I had the Ravens 1 and Steelers 2, which looks like it is. But when I had the Ravens, I didn't have them at 10-2. I had it as a close fought.
No one predicted how good of a quarterback that Lamar Jackson was going to be. No one saw this coming. I mean, I'm not even sure how many Baltimore Ravens fans expected this. Like it just, he's arguably he's probably is going to be the league MVP.
I have no doubt in my mind, unless like something drastic happens, in barren injury. But like, I don't know who else you can name that's having a better season. Affecting the team.
Russell Wilson is probably the only guy I would probably even consider right now. But
I think that just the change that he has brought that team, even with Flacco, you were competitive, and maybe a couple years you routed, but it was always like the Steelers and Ravens were just, it was always close.
I mean, like the one thing that I've been
here, they pretty much ran away with it.
Well, into like more specifically with the AFC North, it just reminds us yet again the Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens will always be king in this division until something happens, because we saw how like just how undisciplined that the Cleveland Browns are. Just like you're up 10-0. First of all, on the Steelers.
Can I say I always find it funny, especially with teams like the Browns when the Steelers face them, how people on Twitter are so quick to just cancel the game.
Oh yeah,
and say they're going to lose. It's never a good situation to be down 10-0 because you can't assume anything. Oh, you're going to come back. But against the Browns, I was like, there's still time. I've seen Steelers come back bigger deficits against Ravens like in the playoffs. Now, like, was it 17-0 one year? So nothing's out of the realm of possibility, and it was early.
Well, with our defense, they can easily change a game, and that's exactly what happened. They sacked Baker Mayfield 5 times, forced 2 turnovers. One was a forced fumble by Bud Dupree, who now has 8.5 sacks this year. Man's gonna be making a lot of money this offseason. And
it'd be nice to someone they franchise tag him.
I will be shocked if the Steelers don't find a way to re-sign him. I just
because
you
can't take the chance that that's a one and done thing.
Absolutely,
it's in him.
Yeah, I mean, well, and 2 now someone opposite of T.J. Watt. It's so hard to
I think I'm no football expert. I haven't played football. So this might be talking out my ass, but I feel like it's a reasonable statement that a person can be so good, but if you have that complimentary person or people around you to help you, it makes a difference. I like to look at Juju. That with Antonio Brown last year, everybody was double teaming Antonio Brown, giving Juju a chance to make a splash. Now with Juju being the first option, he was getting double teamed, so he wasn't putting up the numbers.
No,
he was. So it is the epitome of a team sport. I don't know if who's on the defense is helping Bud, or he was just playing better.
Well, I also think what else cannot be discounted either was the acquisition of
Minka.
Yep. He completely just changed everything because now we have a calming stability presence on the back end because now guys are not running streaming wide open every other play now, and now with guys like Bud and TJ and Cam Hayward, who I believe has 6.5 sacks this year. I mean, it's just they can get to the quarterback, and I mean it's a complete defense. This is easily the Steelers' best defense since probably the Super Bowl years. Obviously, so I mean, it's very fun right now. I'm going to enjoy it as much as we can. And hell,
what do we have? What does the Steelers have to lose?
Nothing at this point because
they control their destiny on making the playoffs.
Well, exactly. And if anything, for next season when Ben comes back, he's now going to have a mindset where it's hey, I don't have to try and do too much now.
Hopefully,
we have a dominating defense now. And he will make such a big difference just with the ability to consistently move the ball downfield, and he won't feel like he has to take so many chances like he had to just because for so long he had such a terrible defense. Now it's more now he just he could take what the defense gives him and just he will have the mindset, hey, it's not bad to punt,
Yeah, I mean, if next year when he's back and you get another wide receiver or something, to shore up that offense, who knows what will happen with off season. But if somehow, and it's not going to be the Ben A.B. days, but if you could put up consistently more points on average.
If they put up consistently 20 to 25 points a game, they are going to win a lot of games.
And you keep the majority of this defense. I don't know, except for Bud off the top of my head.
The only guy who I feel is definitely will not be back next year is probably Hargrave. But Bud, I feel he is a 100%
too good of a season for them to just say no.
Yep. I mean, he just
I don't know the contracts, money situation. I don't want to be the GM.
No.
But I think you maybe put a franchise.
They'll find a way to keep him. I just like it's very.
They'll move around contracts and
Yeah.
realign contracts.
Restructure them.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. But to get back to Ben real quick before maybe tackle the rest of the NFL. But I think this season puts in perspective, and people have been saying this. I'm not the first one to mention this. How good we have it with Ben Roethlisberger, and how many people have taken him for granted.
Absolutely.
Even though you could bash him, and he might have a bad game. You're like,
He covered for so many of.
All right, we should start drafting a quarterback. We had it so good, and we haven't won as much. If you're talking about maybe championships, that we would like with like the best players. We had Bell and AB and all that fun stuff. First off, it's tough to win, and you can argue that against like Tomlin too, but he's still. I'm gonna say it. Overall, an elite quarterback, is that right? Is that too strong of a word?
No, I mean, obviously now he's not. But
he's probably not. I'm not saying maybe not top 5, but top 10 certainly.
First ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, like
who could be a better? Okay, Breeze, Brady, 2 come off the mind. Who else am I missing?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. Okay, that's top 3.
Mahomes.
Maybe.
I mean, like
Wilson. Maybe
I would say like Wilson. Deshaun Watson's pretty good too.
Lamar Jackson now.
Yeah.
But before this season.
Okay.
I was thinking, so not to slight Lamar. But he's easily top 10.
Oh yeah, easily.
He's been 2 Super Bowls, been to 3.
Not to mention how many losing seasons has Ben had? I believe it's like maybe 2, which I believe.
I don't think so.
I think it was the year after. It was a year after
Because
they won Super Bowl 40, where he had his motorcycle accident.
They went 8-8.
Okay.
They didn't have a losing season. I don't think the Steelers have losing season
You might be right about that.
Since like 2003.
Yeah.
Because his rookie season they went 15-1. Then 11-5 won the Super Bowl. Then 8-8 because it was Cowers last year and they weren't as good.
Okay, so the last time the Steelers had a losing season. Wow, we're going back a long time here. Actually, okay. So
Because Tomlin never had a losing season. He might have had a 500 season, but he never had a
So the last time
season.
the Steelers had a losing season was back in 2003 when they were 6-10, and Tommy Maddox was the starting quarterback.
6-10. I kind of faintly remember that season.
They were 6-10, and then in the 2004 season, which was Ben's
after the injury to Maddox in Game 2 against Baltimore,
and won that year.
Yeah, they tore it up,
and then we ran into Tom Brady and the Patriots. But
because if they made it to the Super Bowl, they would have been far favorites.
Oh, easily. Now, as far as the rest of the league is concerned, I definitely feel that we saw a potential Super Bowl preview between the Ravens and the 49ers.
That would be a fun game.
I mean, like, how bad must it be to be the 49ers? You're 10-2, and now you are a 5 seed. You are a wild card right now. Seattle has a tiebreaker over them since they.
Oh yeah. I just saw that. I didn't notice that. Holy crap!
Right?
Oh, that's stupid. That's
it's
stupidly
insane.
hilarious. But then you're 5. So you play Cowboys. You play the Cowboys.
Yeah. So
that might not be that bad.
Cowboys are either going to be facing the Seahawks or the 49ers.
If things don't change, you're gonna have the Cowboys with a home game at 6-6 facing a 10-2 49ers game. Wouldn't you crap if it ends today and this is what happens? Somehow it probably won't happen. Cowboys win at home against the 49ers. That would suck. That's like the Pirates winning 98 games and losing the wild card.
Oh God.
Memories, Twitch. So they had the Saints. Saints already clinched their division. That's hilarious because that division was.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's one of the more uncompetitive. Well, and that's saying something too because for the longest time the NFC South has been a really competitive division. It's just this year has been down here, but just looking around elsewhere, I mean, like, I know you say this every single year, but I am not believing with what I'm seeing with the Patriots, and just I'm not speaking about their coaching, not speaking about their defense. That offense, they're going to struggle to put up points because if you have seen when they have played competitive teams like
Ravens,
like actual teams, they're going to need to go through to beat. They have, I mean, like, they got destroyed by the Ravens. Like, that wasn't even a game, and then they lose to Houston, which, I mean, like, that was a pretty big loss because now it puts a ton of pressure on them this week when they face up against the Kansas City Chiefs. I would even say it's almost a must win for them because I don't see Baltimore losing another game in the regular season. So, like, they're in, like, absolutely have to win now.
Yeah, that's whenever it ever said that about the Patriots.
It's just like they don't have any wide receivers, and like there is no Gronkowski. They are struggling running the ball consistently. Injuries on the offensive line, and like, for as good as Tom Brady can be, I mean, like, he is 44 or is 42 or
I don't know,
or 48. Again, regardless, you know, age catches up with everyone, and like, he's getting hit a ton, and like, I'm not sure how far that the Patriots can go with the current offense that they got.
Yeah, right, you said, okay, they play against the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. That's going to be an interesting game.
Huge game.
Then they play the Bengals, which they should destroy.
Easy one there.
Then the Bills. That's sneaky.
That is not going to be an easy game there.
Then they play the Dolphins, which
although Miami has given them some fits, so and two, like, they have been playing a lot better for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. Ironically, after the Steelers beat them, they started playing really well.
Going back to the Ravens, they play the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens can beat them, but that's not a pushover. The Jets, that should be a win. The Browns, that should be a win. And the Steelers, to close it out, that's at home though with Baltimore.
Arizona game scares me just because they play so bad on the West Coast. It's
but the Steelers game, it's going to be extremely different in everything than when the Steelers played them earlier in the year, and even with that,
no, I'm talking Steelers versus Cardinals.
No, but I'm talking about the Ravens now.
Ah, okay.
But the last game, Ravens and Steelers, even the Steelers should have won that game. Steelers should have won a couple of games. It should have been.
It was arguably Lamar's worst game.
This is before Minka. This was
no. We had Minka, I think, for 2 weeks at that point. We acquired him after the Seattle game. Acquired him after the Seattle game, and like we lost against the 49ers then, and then. I forget. And then after that, we beat I think that was the game we faced Cincinnati. Yeah. So then we lost.
And then the Texans, they play home against Broncos, at the Titans, at the Buccaneers, and home against the Titans.
Not an easy schedule at all. Tennessee is. I mean, like, we're gonna find out a lot about Tennessee because. I think Tennessee needs to win at least. I mean, like, they they might have to win every single game to get in because I could easily see the Steelers winning all 4 or at least 3 out of 4 there. So.
Yeah, but Texans still have hope. That's 2 through 4 seeds are wide open.
Yeah.
Chiefs, again, the Patriots, that's going to be not an easy game. Then the Broncos, Bears, and Chargers. So Chiefs, I think, have an easier schedule, so that's going to be interesting. The Bills, 5 seed, they play the Ravens, the Steelers, the Patriots, and the Jets. That's not an easy schedule. No. By any means. And the Steelers, like we said, Cardinals, Bills, Jets, Ravens. So it's going to be close. And then going back to the Titans, Raiders, Texans, Saints, and Texans. That's not easy.
No.
So, and then right behind the Titans is Oakland at 6-6, and they play the Titans, Jaguars, Chargers, Broncos. Last 3 games, and then and then the Colts are 6-6. Tampa Bay, Saints, Panthers, Jaguars. So it's gonna be close there, and if that stinks, let me tell you what. So that's gonna be AFC is gonna be interesting. Going up for the NFC real quick. We got the Saints. They're clinched in the division, but they play the 49ers, the Colts, the Titans, and the Panthers. Seahawks, Seattle, Rams, Panthers, Cardinals, 49ers. Packers, 3rd seed. Redskins, Bears, Vikings, Lions.
Ew, Jesus.
That's
pretty easy.
Easy. So, in Cowboys at 6-6, Bears, Rams, Eagles, Redskins. Yikes. Even though that's easy opponents, they're the Cowboys right now. So, in my opinion, 1 through 3 it's a toss-up. And then 5, because the 49ers are there. Mm-hmm. At 5th seed, they play the Saints, the Falcons, the Rams, and the Seahawks. So, and then the Vikings rounding up 6th seed, the Lions, Chargers, Packers, and Bears. So it's going to be an interesting couple of few weeks here to close out the season.
Yep, and we'll see how it all shakes out. But there was some pretty big Major League Baseball, or actually before we even get into that, we had the first domino of head coaching firings happen. Carolina Panthers decided to part ways with their longtime head coach Ron Rivera. This kind of surprised me. Honestly, I thought that he would get at least out until the end of the regular season, but the Carolina owner basically said that the team wanted to move into a different direction. So now the Carolina Panthers will be looking for a new head coach. There was also some speculation that they might, because I believe that Carolina doesn't have a GM. And there was some speculation that David Tepper, who was a former part owner of the Steelers, that he might try and lure Kevin Colbert away, who is currently in the final year of his contract. But Kevin Colbert has also been on the record saying that he's going year to year, and that essentially he's right on the verge of retirement. I really don't see Colbert going to Carolina. I really don't care what the circumstances are. Like, he's stated that he's just going year to year. I'm not sure that's exactly the best thing to do. If you are Carolina, I would want a GM who you know is going to be there and not have a Cleveland Brown situation where you're constantly changing executives, constantly changing head coaches. Like, if anything that David Tepper has learned as part owner of the Steelers, stability is very important from at the top of the organization to the very bottom. So yeah, just not too much more to add there. Matt, any thoughts on the firing there?
I honestly have somehow lived under a rock, and I missed this story until John, John and I met to do this podcast, and I saw what he wrote, and I'm like, wait, when did this happen? Yeah, I want to say I'm shocked, but the where's the Panthers at? In the I'm wrong freaking division.
AFC South.
Yeah, they're 5-7. I feel like, to me, I feel like Carolina. I can't remember the last previous years, but I feel like they've underperformed, especially with and you have the whole Cam Newton situation. I want to say I'm shocked, but I'm not. I don't know if I would have done it.
I'm more surprised.
At the end of the year.
I'm more surprised that it happened right now and not when the season ended. But Dave Tepper felt the need to make the change now.
So I mean, it is what it is.
Yep.
I mean, I just. Yeah. Anyways.
So onto some notable Major League Baseball free agent signings. Matt, if you want to go through it, if you
yes.
please.
We got Zach Wheeler, if I can read, signs a 5-year, $118 million deal with the Phillies.
Way too much money, by the way.
Cole Hamels signs 1 year, $18 million with the Braves.
Way too much money.
At least it's only a year.
Yeah.
Yasmani Grandal signs 4 years, $88 million deal with the White Sox.
Worth every penny.
And Mike Moustakas, the Moose, signs 4 years, $64 million deals with the Reds.
And Pard's Twitter was very interesting when that signing happened. But
yes, it was, but I can't comment.
Yeah, but I mean, like I don't understand what Cincinnati's actual plan is here. Like, I mean, like they're still
spend money and hope.
Yep. I mean, essentially, like, I mean, I don't see them like really competing with either St. Louis. I mean, like, even against Chicago, I really just don't put them in that class. I do, however, I love what the Chicago White Sox did with Grandal. I mean, like, you can make the argument that he's probably a top 5 catcher in baseball right now, and he played very well for Milwaukee, and like who bet on himself, and he signed a 1 year deal, and now he just signed a 4 year $88 million deal with the Chicago White Sox. So congrats to him. The Cole Hamels signing, I mean, if you're Atlanta, like $18 million for a guy who's been really injury prone, who has really just like not been the same. I mean, even in his final year at Texas, he really just wasn't all that impressive. You could just tell age is getting there, but you know, I mean, like, there was still a team willing to pay him. Matt, anything more to add here?
No. Not really, but it's probably the what's the I can't think of the phrase, but the thing to kick off winter meetings when they start. You see how everything's going down. The Grandal, he was a monster in Milwaukee that really helped them.
And the big question is going to be, where is Garrett Cole and Steven Strasburg going to land at? You know, and how much money?
Yankees. What? Right. Every time a good pitcher, I'm just think Yankees and then go from there. Moustakas, I don't think it hurts the Reds. That's a good threat there.
Yep.
And we'll see what the rest of the team is. I know as of now, it's one player could be dangerous. To see what they do. Phillies, that's a lot of money. They're slowly getting back into things. after those.
You just gotta wonder about the health with Zach Wheeler. He's been very injury prone with the Mets.
And Hamels, I guess for the Braves, I think it's a
health again too.
I think that's why he got 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you get more out of him, but I think could it be an expensive gamble? Sure, but if it pays off,
it's for 1 year too.
1 year rental player,
Yeah.
but if it pays off, because Braves have been putting together some good seasons.
It's a really good roster. It's just about them putting it together consistently.
If it works out, it works out. If he gets hurt, then yeah. But I feel like maybe at this situation, Braves, it's a gamble you pay off,
right,
and see what happens. And there's always a deadline. But I think the mentality for the Braves is, look, we have a team here. We played good last year. Let's try and let's go for it. I mean, we got a decent pitcher. Maybe that's putting it lightly with Hamels, but let's try it. See what happens.
Right.
So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on those.
Okay. Well, Matt, the King is back.
The King is back.
The King is back. Yes, Conor McGregor has indeed announced his return. He will be fighting on January 18th against Donald Cowboy Cerrone in Las Vegas at 170 pounds at welterweight.
Oh, I'm hyped for this.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be good to see Conor back. And supposedly, according to him, he wants to fight. He wants to fight 3 times in 2020. Supposedly, if he wins, which I would expect, he should beat Cowboy Cerrone. If he can't not beat Cowboy, then he should probably retire. But supposedly he wants Masvidal, and man, like, and if you are like George right now, I mean, like, you're definitely waiting on that Conor fight, because to me, George versus Conor will probably smash every single UFC pay-per-view record. Like, it just, like, Conor back with the company just generates just so much revenue. Like, it just, he's such a big cash grab. And yes, he's been having his own personal issues, but he still is the biggest draw in combat sports right now. Like, it's not even close, and like, he grabs mainstream attention. Like I have friends who don't even know a single thing about MMA, and they said, "Oh, hey, have you heard of how Conor coming back?" And like everyone is excited. So it's gonna be good to see him back. I was a little bit surprised to see, like, he's fighting at 170 pounds against Cowboy. That was kind of surprising to me. But he must really not want to cut any weight at all. So yeah, I mean, it should be a really fun fight. And
we need to get to the casino early for that. That's gonna be packed.
Oh god, like, that thing is gonna be flooded.
Flooded.
Yeah. So I can't wait. January 18th on pay-per-view, UFC 246. I would imagine that card is going to be loaded. So I don't think that Dana has announced any more fights for that card. But I guarantee you that a lot of top echelon talent will probably want to be on that card, though, just because of the cash and just with the exposure alone. I mean, hell, Matt, just recall when Eric Lewis fought on that card, and when he had that interview with Joe Rogan, and for whatever reason he decided to take off his pants. So so that was the UFC news this week. We will talk about more about the next pay-per-view, which is UFC 245. No, I believe it's 244, or is it
because 246 is in January?
That's right. Okay, because they normally do a pay-per-view like right before New Year's, but anyways, so we will talk about that fight card, 3 title fights on that card, so that's gonna be really big. But we will now get into there was a big trailer that they came out at, or actually 2 came out. We'll talk first about the Black Widow trailer. Matt, initial thoughts. It
was good to see another Marvel trailer again. I had the I call it the Marvel chills, if I can coin a phrase. Initial thoughts. I mean, it looks good. I mean, it looks like a Marvel movie's what quality I expect from Marvel. It's going to be nice, at least for me, to see what's happened after the no, not after, but because she's dead.
So supposedly
it's taking place. I forget where's it take place.
This is taking place after Civil War.
Okay, after Civil War. Yeah. Because there was that gap between. Right. They broke apart. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting to see. I like the backstory because we don't know much about her. We
don't know anything about
the Cliff Notes history,
and supposedly Taskmaster is in this, which that's really interesting to me. We haven't like I know that a lot of comic fans have been dying for a Taskmaster story, and they are going to be doing it here. So I'm really interested with that. I'm more interested to see just to see what sort of like training that Black Widow had to go through to become the like super spy, the asset that she eventually became. It's very interesting, and I mean, like I always felt that a lot more people loved that character way more than Captain Marvel. So I have a feeling this is going to get over pretty well.
I have no doubt. Her character, just for the years of seeing her, I think is very popular.
And Scarlet too. It's just like she's such a likable person on top of that.
Yeah, I'm getting maybe this is a
Soldier.
Bad not that, but the take away from that too, but the take away from like a different movie franchise, just that whole character in the dark, like almost like a this comes to mind like a John Wick,
Ghost Rider.
Screw that movie so hard. It's the only movie I left there. No, that and The Last Witch Hunter or whatever the crap. Yeah. That's the 2 movies.
That was bad.
Anywho, like I got John Wick, that dark John Wick almost vibe to her character.
Yeah.
That she's just a badass, like a nice person, but you piss her off and then just
death.
So yeah, I think it looks good. That's coming next year, summer.
I believe that it's in May
2020.
Yeah, because then I believe in June Wonder Woman comes out. So a lot of
fun
estrogen within a few months.
I don't know. I wasn't expecting you to say that. That's funny. A lot of estrogen.
So yeah, I mean, like those two films right there are going to be really good. But we also had a James Bond trailer
on this past Wednesday that it came out. The name of the movie, oh my god, it's slipping my mind. Holy crap! I should have. Yeah, I'm prepared. No Time to Die. I know it's something like that. John just watched it before we recorded. I watched it yesterday.
The freaking car, man.
I love that car.
The freaking car.
The machine gun car. But first impressions for me, I mean, this looks really good. This could be. This looks like it could be one
like
of the better
Bond movie. Yeah.
I mean, in the Daniel Craig era, this has potential. It just by the trailer looks. It could maybe be his best one.
And wasn't the villain played by Christoph Waltz?
That was the last one. That's the one. But the new villain, the new main villain,
Christoph Waltz. Where is Justin Bieber?
I'm not going to do it here. It's was it Rami Malek? Oh my God! Like he plays in Mr. Robot. And I'm not going to butcher.
Oh
his name.
yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
I kind of liked him in this. I from the short time I seen him in the trailer, but from what I see, I like what the vibe I get from him, and he kind of just looks like he has that persona. Because I've watched Mr. Robot a little bit before I just got out. I never got back into it, but it's not anything about the show. It kind of just looks like that Bond villain. In the mask, I think it's good. It just looks like there's a lot of layers to this movie, and correct me if I'm wrong. Like other Bond movies, they're like almost separate in a way. Like there's no like continued story. But like this one, at least for this movie and the last one, there's a continuation with it. So it's not like. Because James, like Casino Royale was kind of just Casino Royale. Skyfall was kind of a continuation story. And I kind of like that in the James Bond. Because like when Pierce Brosnan was there, there's really no continuation story. I don't think. I could be wrong. You've probably seen more than I have. Maybe I'm talking out of my butt, but like this one, I felt like there's more continuation, and with it, but it looks good. This could be the best one to date from what I'm getting from the trailer. So it's more recent in your mind.
Yeah, I mean, like nothing really to more add. What you reiterate there looks like a typical Bond film outside of like there's actually some continuation from the last film. So I'm pretty excited for that. But Matt, it's that time again. It's time for the wrestling portion of the podcast. So just some side stories that I found here, but I read an article that was done on like Fightful.com, where I'm not sure if it was them who conducted the interview or not, but supposedly Tommaso Ciampa told like people within the company, Triple H and all that, if he were ever to go to either Raw or SmackDown, that he would retire from in-ring competition. Matt, what was your first reaction when you heard about that?
I don't want to put this without. I think this. I'm probably going to later contradict myself, but I'm going to say it and sound like an idiot. I think this has to do more so with NXT than the main roster. And what I mean by that is the NXT is on fire right now, and they're doing so much good stuff that I think he would be a full if you're the main players on that show. I think it'd be a fool to want to leave there or have been told to leave there.
I also
and
think,
here comes the contradiction. When you look at the main roster, overall they're not doing as well with stories and whatnot.
A massive understatement.
I'm the positive guy on the show. But the general thing, to generalize the situation, then what's happening on NXT. So he probably doesn't want to leave, and they're doing just so good. There's the talent. Not saying the main rosters. There's no talent on the main roster. I don't put me out there. There's
NXT. They do so much more of what they have than what anything that's going on currently on the main roster.
And it just looks like everybody's just having it more fun there. It's small. It's not too crazy compared to Raw and SmackDown in terms of overall just size and scope.
I also think two things to consider here too. Number one, a very lighter schedule. Like he doesn't have to work 5 or 4 and 5 days a week. And number two, oh God, what was my and also his injury with his neck. I mean, he would be taking a much lesser pounding, which
that's what she said.
Yeah. So if you're him, I mean, you don't know how many more bumps that he could take, because I believe that he had a surgery. I don't think it was completely like Edge's, but it was similar from what I gathered. So if you're him, you don't want to be just continuously doing it for 4 and 5 days a week. So I mean, I'm sure that definitely with the schedule that NXT has, and on top of that, he is probably way more sane and he sees how the landscape is for guys who go to either Raw or SmackDown. Just look at your former boys of the Ascension. You look at Aleister Black. He has not done a damn thing since he's been called up for 7 months now. Hasn't done a thing.
They're trying right now.
It's just they clearly don't know what to actually do with them, and there are so many other guys who they really don't know how to book them. Whether it's Almas, whether it was Ember Moon for the longest time, Revival were pretty directional. I mean, hell, authors of Pain, they had no idea what to do with those guys. So I don't really blame him for giving the company that ultimatum, whereas he wanted to build the foundation of NXT. So I can't really fault them for that. And two, with them going live every single Wednesday night now, I mean, it just it doesn't make sense for him to really want to even think about going to either Raw or SmackDown right now.
Yeah, and then to piggyback real quick off of your idea, I think it's more like a pride thing.
Oh yeah,
you help, like you said, you help build something there with NXT, and it's just on fire right now. Would you want to leave that? And I think anybody in any shoe, any person in that company, if they were there, would not want to leave what they've started.
No, and I guarantee you that most guys from either Johnny Gargano to guys like Keith Lee, who is getting a monster push, we will talk about that later. But you could just tell when guys are just enjoying themselves in everything that they are doing. So yeah, I don't blame him whatsoever. But the next thing here, we didn't get a chance to talk this last week, and I could not believe that we forgot about this. The whole situation with Corey
I
Graves.
thought we touched on it.
No, we never touched on it.
How much I pay attention.
And like Morrow, Matt, first thoughts when you first heard about this here.
First thoughts. I can't remember what I thought originally, but I swear I read something about the story saying Corey, since it was Survivor Series and they were in a feud, he was doing stuff to, not promote, but to keep in tune with competing brands. I don't think it was. I don't want to assume, but it could be worse than what he actually said. I know people have said a lot worse.
Oh, absolutely. But
I don't think it was as. I don't think there was malice behind it. If in fact it was about just promoting the brand warfare leading up to the Survivor Series or Survivor Series weekend. I think the unfortunate the result from that, which I don't believe, like I said, Corey had any intent for this to happen. I don't think he sat there and goes, I'm going to piss more off and whatever happens, happens. The unfortunate side effect from doing this, which the obvious is Morrow's bipolar, which I'm no expert, could easily get triggered with stuff. Should they have done it? I don't know.
absolutely not. And I'll tell you this why. Have you seen his documentary on?
No, I never
on
got a
Showtime?
chance to because I don't have Showtime.
I will tell you right now. It's currently on like YouTube, but if you have seen that, you will see why even the smallest of thing will affect this man. Like his battle with bipolar disorder and depression is very very well documented. And Corey Graves, out of anyone in that company, should know because his former ex-wife has admitted he suffers from depression. Like, how does he not know that? Like that even the smallest of things.
It is. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't understand how you could be just so like tone deaf, so like naive, and then after the fact, he of all people goes after freaking like Dave, goes after freaking Dave, after Dave Meltzer. I'm calling him, saying that he was over exaggerating, when Corey Graves was the first one to throw out those freaking tweets, like, for criticizing him. And no, I am not saying that he is devoid of criticism, but us, we are not in that company. Your coworkers should not be bashing you in public. If he could have just picked up the freaking phone and called him and say, hey, like, I think that you should, do either this or that, or at least give him a heads up, because supposedly even through that week, he was really having a hard time with his depression and everything that was going on. So it's just like I get what some people are saying, but man, like, you cannot mess with depression. It doesn't take much to put people in a bad spot. Like I have seen it. Like, we have seen people who go through episodes who, I mean, hell, a good example of that was Daniel Bryan, because when he was first forced to retire, basically he was in a really bad spot because Matt, I'm not sure if you recall, for WrestleMania 32, he was supposed to be at the Hall of Fame and everything, and he basically didn't show up just because he was just in such a bad spot with everything that had happened between that and like his dad dying and just everything that happened. So I think it just came down to just a lack of awareness, and like on top of that, just how insincere that his apology was. He never even directly apologized to freaking Morrow.
Well, do we know that he didn't do it behind the scenes?
No, of course not. But if you have that type of like a platform with this podcast, you would think he would had like said his name directly, you know?
Yeah, but but he did apologize on his podcast.
He did. He did apologize, but he didn't really apologize. I feel like that was just him. Yeah, like he apologized to anyone who were offended or like or whatever, but he never specifically stated Morrow's name, which is what myself and a lot of people had a problem with.
I'm okay. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, like,
I think everybody knows what you're talking about. I feel like he talked to him directly behind the scenes.
You would think.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Yes, it was a mistake, and if that was the cause of it, then it's very unfortunate. But I'm not gonna like sit here and crap on Corey Graves. It was a mistake. Maybe it was the best way to do it. No, we've all made mistakes, and
but
should he took it in consideration? Yeah, sure.
But then on top of that, he was doubling down on that when he went after both like journalists who were making a story about it, and to with like Dave, he has supposedly been friends with like Morrow for over 30 years. So if there's anyone who knows how he is, it's Dave. So yeah, it just like I didn't like it, but now Morrow he's in a better spot now. He recently came back to the latest NXT taping, so all is right with him as that concerned. And one other piece of news here: John Morrison has officially re-signed with the WWE. This was announced on WWE backstage. That he has officially re-signed with the company. Matt, initial thoughts?
Happy for him. I'm excited. I'm interested to see what show he's on, Raw, SmackDown, or NXT.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it would probably be between SmackDown and NXT. If you want to pop that NXT rating,
I think
you go there.
I think you should probably put him on NXT, to be honest.
But I think if that's not in the works, I think SmackDown gets him.
SmackDown, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to be optimistic about this, but just based on what they have done with recent signings, like you look at like Shelton Benjamin, Ray when he first signed, like they didn't really do anything with him, and like I don't have any confidence to think that they're gonna know what to exactly do with him here either. Like I hope that I'm wrong. I really hope that I do, but I just based off of other track record. I mean, like you even look at guys say like a Rhino. I mean, just like how long will it be until a guy in like John Morrison is going to be relegated to being on like main events. So I mean, we'll see, but yeah, I mean, not too much other thoughts there, Matt. Anything more to add there?
Just interested to see. I know other people are upset. Oh, why did you announce on the backstage? Well, everybody freaking knew it was happening.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you don't know,
the thing leaked a long time ago.
As long as if his debut is a surprise and done well, it's fine. Like people know a lot of beforehand. I'm not shocked because you have backstage as a news show. God forbid they break news on a news show. God dang it.
Yeah, I mean,
it should be a surprise. You knew it was happening. Well, we knew he was coming, but it should be a surprise. So them telling you it's official and that most of you already knew is bad. The hell.
I mean, it's not like when AJ Styles first debuted. Like keeping that a surprise was the exact right call there, because I feel that would have really cut off a lot of the steam that he had.
People knew there was rumblings, but you didn't know. People that's I don't want to say weren't surprised, but it was a good rumble surprise.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, Matt, we're going to talk a little bit about both for Dynamite and NXT. Why don't you run through some of the things here?
Yeah, we don't want to go like breakdown here.
Okay, well,
let's get into the ratings and then general comments on both shows, because breaking down each thing we'll be here forever, because we're about an hour 10 in, and I don't want to go for 2. So ratings. So after last week, Thanksgiving Eve, AEW was down. They come back up from 663,000 viewers to up to 851,000. They won, but not by much, because NXT drew 845,000. That's a less than 1% margin, 0.71% to be exact. So that means AEW was ranked 8th in the top 150 in terms of 18 to 49 demo, and NXT is close behind the number 12, and AEW was ranked 33 in viewership, and right behind them at 34 was NXT. Mm-hmm. In the, like I said, the 18 to 49 demo, AEW drew a .32 rating, and NXT was close behind with a .29 demo. So that is a difference of 10.3%. Even though that percent sounds big, but the demo is very, very close, very similar.
And to what I was telling Matt too is what was super surprising was they outdrew the freaking LeBron James and the LA Lakers last night, or like from Tuesday night, like that. Like I get it that the NBA's ratings have been down, but wow, like not even 800,000 viewers is just astonishing to me.
Both shows saw an increase in viewership from the previous week. again, Dynamite was, like I said before, 663,000, up 28% to the current 851,000. NXT went up 4.3% from 810,000 to 845,000. So week to week now, it seems it's very close. Yes, AEW won, and they won in demos, but it is especially the 18 to 49 demo, a much smaller gap than in previous weeks. So NXT is basically more or less holding their viewers, even without the help of main guys on the main roster guys, if you will, on the show. So NXT is it's pretty much always close between the two companies, if you will, but it's been most recently it's been very closer in terms of demos and overall viewers. So that's a good thing for both shows. It's very close, razor thin. Both shows are putting on overall good products.
I will say
to
though,
week.
yeah, I will say this. This was a major step up this week for Dynamite. The lexicon of La Champion. He buries his freaking list gimmick back in 2016, which was hilarious.
It was the best gimmick he had,
and like
besides this one.
Did you catch, by the way, in that segment when he was like running off names, he named Alan Jones, who is the actual name of AJ Styles.
No, I didn't even catch that.
I was like, oh my god, like someone brought that up. I was like, holy shit. Like that completely slipped my mind right there. So like he was just naming in like, but the one thing that was consistently he kept on naming was
Moxley.
One man in John Moxley, and it definitely became apparent to me that they are definitely doing Moxley versus Jericho at their next pay-per-view. Like,
oh, yeah.
I also wonder if Jericho is going to force him to go through every single person in the inner circle in order to get a title shot.
I feel like that to keep the build going until
it makes sense, you know.
Yeah. But that was a good segment. Like I was telling John before the show, because I had NXT on my TV and AEW on my laptop for the first time. Wanted to see how that went. See what AEW can grab me. But the three things I turned the volume up for was the Jericho promo, another wonderful Cody promo, and Brandy promo, just to see what she had to say.
And that segment sucked, by the way. Like, Brandy cannot talk. Like, it's just like this gimmick was like the freaking straight edge society was trending.
It was.
I was like this
yes.
was just so, it was so bad. It was so cringe. Like I held out as long as I could with this gimmick. I was like, I'll wait and see how this comes off. And last night was it for me. Like I don't care to see where this goes anymore. I just kind of want this to just go and leave now. But we got another great Dark Order vignette. Like, those have been just excellently done, and I keep on saying this every single week.
Should have been in from the get-go.
Why did we not do this from the get-go?
The get-go.
They did this completely.
I want to care. Is the in-ring product going to match the promo videos?
I mean, like, I think they can't. It just became a like issue of like,
Why?
we did not give a reason to care about them because they had no characters behind them, and now, like, this whole thing of like they are just grabbing people who were completely left out of society is just really well done. That will, in my opinion, that will get over. Like, they
right, yes.
they have done a real good job. What do you think about those vignettes, Matt?
Oh, they're good. They're well done. But we have so many freaking cults on this show. We have 3.
Someone brought up the point of this possibly all being connected, sort of thing.
I don't want it.
Because and someone who tweeted out, like, Cody is a really big comic fan, and that, like, he really is, like, behind all of those dark personas and stuff. I wonder if this is all going to come together at some point.
So he attacked himself?
Huh? Well, oh God.
Yeah, because we have the Dark Order, we have Awesome Kong and Crazy Brandy, and we got Bed Bath and Beyond. Oh, I mean, Butcher.
And speaking of which, oh God, this really annoyed me. Okay, so after Cody cuts that sensational promo, we get MJF, and AEW, for whatever reason, decides to not put this on the show because hell, that would actually make sense. Why in the hell would you not include, like, hey, MJF paid off freaking, like, Butcher, Blade, and the Bunny to take out Cody?
Bad Bath and Beyond in my books. I'm calling them that.
Like, how did no one within that company say, hey, we should probably put this on TV? It's a really important piece into the actual story with Cody and MJF. Like, just the small things like this.
You mentioned that Cody, the MJF promo right before we started. I was like, wait, what promo?
Exactly. I was like, well, in this 2-minute promo, he said that he paid off all 3 of those individuals to take out Cody, which that would have been a really good piece to add because then it would have actually given those guys an actual reason to attack Cody.
I had no idea,
and not to just say, oh, we got tired of seeing his face on every billboard. Like, to me, that would have been really lazy, and, like, that was where they were initially going. But then we found this out. I was like,
the weird thing is,
it's genius.
But the weird thing is, those 3 cut a promo on the show, and then mention that.
Mm-hmm.
I like, what?
Exactly. And another thing that also really annoyed me too, this company needs to get their production and their audio in order.
I totally missed it because I had the volume down for the first match.
It was for the first 10 minutes of this show. Just like, how hard is it just to sync up your show so that the crowd is not talking over the announcers, and so that we can actually hear a vocal crowd at that arena? Like, it's just the small things like this are what's killing this company, and it's every week now. They need to get their production in order from just from the syncing up with the wrestlers themes from the announcers and from the live crowd. Can we please just get this thing in order? I don't think that I'm asking too much here, and there was a lot of people really annoyed with that, and just fully so.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to the Cody promo, and Matt, as you said, like, it's every single week now. Like, anytime he has a talking segment, people are going to want to see and watch it.
Cody and Jericho are like the 2 main things I look forward to every week.
Like Moxley's stuff too. For
Yeah,
me.
but I just feel like those
from,
two
from, from a like talking standpoint.
Cody and Jericho almost have a segment every week.
Which I'm perfectly. I mean, like hell, if I'm AEW, I have Jericho talk every single week. I wouldn't even be mad if they had Cody talk every single week because now, and it's becoming more consistent now. We're having better flow with these shows. It's not just strictly about the in-ring. They are building people up, giving characters to these people. Hell, with the like, with the freaking with the freaking new chick who they signed, Chris Statlander. She has a freaking alien gimmick.
I don't know what I felt like, but I had no idea who this person was, and everybody was hyped for this match. I was like, why? Who is this? I have no idea who this.
Yeah,
But
basically,
still, I have no idea who this person is, and I don't watch Dark.
Yeah. Well, supposedly she was about to sign with WWE, and then AEW hooked her, and basically signed her right under WWE's finger because supposedly, according to the Observer, that she was slated to start at the Performance Center, I believe, in January. But like the one thing that I really noticed though, you don't realize how big Chris Statlander is until she's like standing right at Awesome Kong. Like you're like, okay, like there's definitely something there. But again, and I was pleased to see though with this week they actually have a storyline now with like Nyla Rose and like Shauna, and they kind of showed when she took out Shauna from, I believe it was from an AEW Dark episode from a few weeks ago. So at least they're showing something there, but we need more video packages with people like a Chris Statlander, like a Shauna, Awesome Kong. You know, you need to, in order to build this division to be anything close to what NXT is, you need to give the people a reason to care. And that has been the biggest problem right now. Mm-hmm. As far as anything else with the show, there was a really good six-man tag with the Bucks and Dustin Rhodes versus the Inner Circle. That was a really fun match. Honestly, that was probably my favorite match out of the whole entire night. I'm not sure if you felt the same way. Because the triple or the 6-man tag on NXT between Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Dijak versus the Undisputed Era was also really good there too. So
and then there was a funny spot when was it Nyla Rose powerbombed the ref through a table, and they cut to Britt Baker in the audience.
Oh, they completely parodied that.
I totally missed that live.
I laughed so hard. Like I was like, oh my god, they parodied.
I missed it live because you know what? It was during the commercial break,
which that is also a big problem. AEW, can you please
something else happened during a commercial break that I totally missed.
It was.
Oh my god, what was it?
I forget what exactly, but
they did that like twice.
Yeah, can we please stop with doing these commercial breaks when you're shooting a freaking angle? Like, you know, if you have to split it in between a freaking match, like I don't need.
I tuned into NXT. My focus is on NXT. I figured nothing important is going to happen.
Exactly, like it just
of significance.
Just like small things like that, they just need to do a better job of. If you like, you know, there are important details within that story. I would like to hear what's going on there. It's just like small things. They are correctable things, but there are things they should not be doing. Yeah. But overall, and also thank God Moxley beat Jelly last night. I
don't see why
it was clean. Boom. I don't want to see that match ever again. So thank God. But overall, a really good Dynamite episode. A big step up from the previous week.
Uh-huh.
And the ratings reflect that. Matt, do you want to speak a little bit on NXT here?
Yeah, do real quick. We had the opening segment. Killian Dane interrupted Morrow's opening. I believe Killian Dane was supposed to face Damian Priest, but Damian Priest got hurt. Priest got hurt. So we had the Bruiserweight, holy Nikes, versus Killian Dane to open up the show. Mm-hmm. That was opposite the 6-man tag on AEW with the Young Bucks and Dustin Rhodes versus the
Inner Circle.
Yeah, I was thinking of a different team name. This was more of a ground and pound, hard hitting match between the two. I enjoyed the show. A good other choice compared to the high flying craziness of what AEW was doing at the time. Again, good hard hitting match between the two, but Dane got the win on this encounter, which Don's okay if he loses. He's over enough. Dane has built momentum to get to probably to where they want to do with him and Priest down the road. But it was a good match for what it was. Mm-hmm. Next we have in-ring promo with the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole was calling out Finn Balor, but out comes Keith Lee.
This man is getting a monster push. The one thing that was consistent about this show, Keith Lee stands out from everyone else on this show. Keith Lee
and to a lesser extent, but still a good extent, Rhea Ripley, and we'll get to that in a moment. Yeah. Keith Lee cuts a promo, pretty much
bask in his glory.
But pretty much said he wants the gold, their gold, and we get that. And I think Ciampa came out.
Ciampa come out? He eventually came out. So what happened was
and Balor made an appearance.
Keith Lee essentially took out everyone. Eventually,
I'm drawing a blank here.
Yeah. Eventually.
Oh, here it is. I'm reading here. Yeah.
Eventually, Ciampa came out, and it was eventually announced that we would get a 6-man tag with Keith Lee, Ciampa, and Dijak versus
the Undisputed.
Yeah, but absent from this was Bobby Fish. So obviously,
I think he's still hurt.
He's obviously still hurt. So yeah, a really good segment that set up for the 6-man tag. But now.
Balor wasn't there. I misread this thing. Yeah, Balor wasn't there. I don't know what I'm talking about. Then next we had Xia Li against Shayna Baszler. Lee was wanting to get some revenge on last week's attack by Baszler. And Lee got some offense in there, looking good. But Shayna obviously is going to go over.
She should.
Good, which she should. Nice little, good little match. Nothing too special, but got the focus on Lee a little bit there. Mm-hmm. It kind of build her up and show what she got against the champion. Then we have a quick squash match against the Forgotten Sons versus, I believe, a tag team from Evolve, Adrian Alanis and Leon Ruff.
Wait.
Morning.
Oh, sorry,
it's 8:46. I keep forgetting they're there, but they got to do something more with them to build up, because there's talent there, but not really anything going on right now.
NXT's tag team division is just really just lacking right now. Like they really need to get some contenders for the Undisputed Era, because like well, like there's currently, like, honestly, if you were gonna have them feud with anyone, it would probably be Keith Lee and Dijak, because they have the most history with them right now. So, but it just, like, they need to do something here, and hopefully they'll come down sooner rather than later. So what was after the squash here, Matt?
We had the scheduled match. I say scheduled between Rhea Ripley and Dakota Kai, which I love. What they're doing with her. I love her heel turn. I love her entrance video.
Somehow she got hotter as a heel.
I got a little like taking to Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
I wish I was in that business right now, but I digress. But I like what they're doing with her.
I was surprised, however, how soon that they had like a Mia Yim come after her and get her comeuppance sort of thing here. But this was a really good brawl here with her.
Yim and Tex, their fights Dakota, and then Shayna Baszler comes out with her trio of Duke and Shafir, the posse, and they lay out. They attack Ripley. Rhea puts up a fight, but again, Shayna gets the best of her in the Kirifuda clutch, and they announce an NXT Women's Championship match between Baszler and Ripley on December 18th.
And
December 18th again, stacked between like both shows.
Yeah, because too, Chris Jericho also announced he will be defending his title against Jungle Boy, which that was a very polarizing decision. A lot of people liked it, a lot of people hated that. Just and from the negative side, because with Jungle Boy, he has yet to even win a single match yet. But
and other people, I think it was Raj, there over at Wrestling Inc. If I could say it first name basis, because I don't want to butcher the last name because I'm drawing a blank and I don't want to offend Raj. Said yesterday on their post show with, said that like this is not helping the records aspect of the show, because you want to make it legitimate, and then this guy gets a title shot. Somebody match, I forget who on the show said that's like saying if the defending champions like baseball, or like let's say it was Boston and the Yankees, whatever, saying, you know what, Yankees, no, we're not going to face you. We're going to face Houston. We're facing you or somebody else. But I also brought up this. It was Jericho's decision. So from a logic standpoint, why would he want to pick? No, I see that argument.
Yeah, so it's like okay, guys, I get it, but the whole story was it was Jericho's decision. Like, you know, he's going to pick a cupcake. So from that, it like made sense. Do I like it? No, but it is what is. But getting back to NXT here, I do think, I'm hoping that this is where that they put the title onto Rhea here. I do think that at some point they want to get Shayna on either Raw or SmackDown, and I feel like they have built up the NXT Women's division to a point now where they don't really need Shayna anymore, and that the division can kind of carry itself. And now they finally have someone who can take that title from her. Like, I think you need to strike where the iron is currently hot with. But
I can see him do some business that it ends with some interference.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And they carry this over to their next takeover.
Right.
I could see a Dakota Kai running interference here. Wouldn't surprise me. But it wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think that would happen because I think that would be a little bit too early because with her unfinished business with Tegan Knox, I really do feel they need
Mia.
to take care of that first
Right.
before they get to that.
Right, but I could see him doing.
yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. I think you can do it. And yeah, it's an episode of NXT, but then that makes it feel special.
Okay.
In my opinion, if you just wait to all the takeovers, you're in a quote unquote war, and you get that rating pop.
Yep.
You got, I think you got that match, and I think you have another. I think you got the cruiserweight title match between Lio Rush and Garza.
Oh God.
On that day too, and their first one was good.
And like any sort of like Lio Rush title defense has been a great match.
So you got two on the same night.
Yeah.
And so that should be good.
Yeah, and if you're AEW, you're gonna have to like load up that show there. So I'm very interested to see what else that they're gonna be putting on that show outside of Jericho's title defense.
Another match we had Ono versus Cassius Ono versus Matt Riddle. Ono's been over in I think doing some stuff with NXT UK.
Yeah.
A little bit. They gave him time. They had a decent match. And Riddle got the win over them.
Yeah, I've like seen this match so many times. I fast forwarded.
I oddly have not.
Yeah.
So that was news to me because I barely saw Ono on any TV because I don't watch UK.
Well, if you recall when Riddle first debuted, he had it was like 3 matches or something with Ono in like the span of like 2 months.
But I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So it was fresh in my mind in a way.
And after this was it
we had the return of Kushida.
Oh yeah,
Kushida.
Okay.
Cameron Grimes attack Raul Mendoza, who was supposed to be the match. I really don't. I forget what was opposite on AEW because I really wasn't.
This was
in this match.
This was at the 9:30 hour, I believe. Was this? This wasn't.
I think at this point.
No. It was Pentagon Jr. versus Christopher Daniels. Which, man, Christopher Daniels, I love you, man. Loved you in TNA and all, but you need to retire. Like, I'm not sure if you have seen the small clip of him botching a like moonsault. He like tripped.
No, I didn't really pay attention to that match.
He tripped on the middle rope and just fell flat on his face, or slipped and fell like flat on his back or something. But like it was a really bad botch. But that was what was going on.
It was a short match. I think at this point I was getting distracted. I was doing other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the attention was 3 different places. So it was what it was. It is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too special. And then we had the main event, Undisputed Era versus Ciampa Lee and Dijakovic, with the faces, if you will, getting the win over the Undisputed Era.
And that visual of Keith Lee
staring
at Finn Balor was awesome.
Obviously,
great camera work right there.
Balor came out and
just Keith
attacked Adam Cole during the match when the referee was. It came out and he did a drop kick to Adam Cole and caused a bump on the ref, which I think that was a good spot there.
Yeah.
It was one of the better refs bumps that was set up perfectly placed attack. It didn't cause a disqualification. Especially these guys, you got the business done with Balor and Adam Cole.
Yep.
You didn't do the crappy, disqualification ending. And Keith Lee had the hit a spirit bomb. I misread here on Balor, so that knocked him out. And he hit a jackhammer on Cole for the win. And so to close out the show, Regal came out and see this is, I like him as a GM. He only comes out when it matters.
Exactly.
just a sidebar, and he announced that we have this. This is another thing too. We have I don't know why December 18th is so important. Am I missing something? But
just kind of
Cole will defend his NXT championship on December 18th. So we have that.
Crap, that's right.
The women's match. I think the cruiserweight match, unless it's next week.
So essentially, we have a mini takeover then on
the 18th.
Oh Jesus!
Take that, AEW. Your turn. And again, face the winner of a triple threat match next week between Balor, Ciampa, and Lee.
Yeah, I definitely feel like this has to be where Ciampa wins here. And Sally, I do think that Keith Lee is probably eating that pin, just because if you're Ciampa or Balor, neither guy can really afford to lose there.
I felt,
and out of those three, you probably would have Keith Lee eat that pin there.
And then down the way, I don't think that hurts them. People,
no.
Who are you gonna have lose?
Exactly. It's just like you aren't gonna have Ciampa lose after that amazing spot that he did with Adam Cole there. You are not gonna have Finn Balor lose, since he's wrestled 2 times since he turned heel. So it really doesn't make any other sense than for Keith Lee.
Lee can eat it, and then he can go after. I can see him go after Roddy's the North American title.
That is exactly where I would take him to. I would have Keith Lee win that title. But I do think that eventually in 2020 he needs to be the NXT World Champion.
I think it's definitely
has
happening.
to be.
I think the weight will make it that much, because he fairly recently got this push. So that strong, that build, because you can build with the North American Championship, because he wants to take the gold from Undisputed Era.
Right.
So that's step one.
Yep.
You got the Goldie situation with Ciampa, and whatever you do with Balor.
Yeah. Because I think that they're probably planning on Ciampa winning the title from Cole, and that will lead right into Ciampa. Or actually, no, because something I completely forgot too. I mean, Balor's going to have to eventually answer for his attack on Johnny Gargano there. So
you have a Balor Gargano.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that would probably happen first. So they could probably drag out that feud with Ciampa and Cole there for a while there. So there's a lot of different ways that AEW, that NXT can go here, and it just speaks again to how deep that the NXT roster is. It's from their. I mean, the only thing that's really bad about it is their tag team division. It's the only part of NXT that is just supremely weak right now, and that is the direct opposite of AEW right now, who have 3, 4, and 5 tag teams right now.
If they have that, if NXT had a tag team division,
if they had a tag team division, they have the best roster from top to bottom in any company. And it's not even close.
Oh yeah, they would, because AEW would be top. It's top heavy.
It's very top heavy
as of now.
But I will say this: so I think, say within a year from now, I think that's going to be completely changed, because I just feel like they're still introducing a lot of people, and they're slowly are getting more and more guys and girls over here. But that being said, thank God for Wednesday nights. I say this every single week. It's fun watching these shows. It gives me so much joy, just because
like a proud papa.
It really is. It's just there's like we had 2 really good segments on Dynamite with both Jericho and Cody, and put that together with everything with the Keith Lee stuff, Rhea Ripley with Shayna. It's all really, really good in my opinion. Yeah. So Matt, we're about to cap this off.
The funny news story.
Yep.
I like how we said we're not going to go in depth with AEW and NXT and be shorter than 2 hours, and we went in depth, and it's an hour and 44 right now. So lies, all of it. So weird news. I kind of found this at the last minute, but I taking the sensation of the Baby Yoda. This is from Huffington Post. And then somehow this has to do with Baby Yoda and Ted Cruz. And weird story, but almost unnecessary story here. So back when the presidential election in 2016, I can't believe it's been that long so already. We had presidential candidate on the Republican side, Ted Cruz. And there's always these internet memes that he was the Zodiac killer. Now he's apparently being blamed for killing Baby Yoda. Or possibly could. I don't know. I feel like unnecessary. So, or in the meme of Baby Yoda. And I can't wait for tomorrow eventually. I can watch the next episode. It's going to be late because I have stuff to do. But that's a sidebar.
This is the way.
This is the way I have spoken. So apparently, this NBA blogger named Nitz Bluff. It's a weird name. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, which I probably am, my apologies. She's like I said, it's an NBA blogger from The Athletic. And there's a tweet, and again, I'll have a link to this below in the description, and maybe we'll see if I have this tweet up on the in the video. We're one corny politician away from Baby Yoda being ruined. Keep that meme away from them. One of Forbes NBA contributor Duncan Smith Duncan Smith said in response to that tweet, it's going to be Ted Cruz. I'm furious just thinking about it. I don't know what that means, how you can kill a meme. I don't know if this was a joke. And then a few hours later after this, so that response was at 4:44 in the morning, a.m., and this is at 11:36. Ted Cruz responds to that tweet with the picture of Yoda, Baby Yoda, just drinking like that tea from the last episode, was looking, which is hilarious. That's hilarious. Apparently, that means that he's killing the meme. I don't know, but that tweet has been retweeted, I guess, as of this writing of this article, retweeted more than 8,100 times and liked more than 45,000 times. And then some people, you can see an article have responded to Ted Cruz with GIFs. One was the "good" by Palpatine, and there's a video here. I don't know what it is, and other people threw back things at Cruz too. So you can read that all. And I'm presidential candidate for Democrats, Julian Castro. Responded to somebody with that meme, but Yoda's drinking Lipton iced tea instead of whatever he was drinking in the show. So that was pretty funny. I don't know, unnecessarily, but that tells you how big Baby Yoda is in our lives right now.
Absolutely.
And I swear I saw on Facebook that a website which was selling like a figurine of one, but they misspelled Yoda. I forget what they said. I was like, okay, it's shady. I'm not buying it. But I got to look in stores because, damn it, I want to buy a Baby Yoda thing for Christmas. I will treat myself. I will buy myself a gift. It's the biggest thing now. It's a great. I just want to like put it at the foot of my bed, and every time I wake up in the morning, I just see Baby Yoda stare at me. Okay, that sounds weird.
And on that note, Okay, guys. Just a quick reminder, as I said at the start of the podcast, Matt and I are planning on trying to do a reaction show after Dynamite and NXT. So stay tuned for that. And follow Matt and I on Twitter for future updates with that, and stay subscribed to the channel and everything. Matt, you want to close us out here?
Yeah, and like he said about subscribing, if you want to know when the live video is up, subscribe. Have that bell, and you're going to know when the next video is with the live stream. So again, subscribe, like the video, comment, all that fun stuff. You know what to do. But that's all the time we have here. We're getting on the 2 hours after I said we're not going to do it. I'm a liar. So with that, for John, I am Matt. See you next week. Have a good one.